Welcome, my beautiful souls. Do you know that your spirit guides and your higher self are, well, they're trying to reach you every single day, um, throughout the day. And what I'm hearing is um, spirit our spirit guides really wanted me to do this reading for those who, you may be missing certain signs or you may be uncertain, like, was that a sign? And this is mainly about love. But of course, anything else that wants to come up, because this is also from your higher self. So we're channeling your higher self and messages from spirit. But I do have questions that I'm asking directly to our guides about this. And I'm going to do this reading a little different. Usually I do them like in order, but I'm going to shuffle this. I just feel like shuffling. So, Spirit wants to tell us about a person who their energy is already connected to yours. So, whether this is someone you already know, whether this is someone from a past life, and by the way, that happens all the time. People just don't realize that, which would mean soulmate energy, um, and whatever else that your guides and your higher self want you to know today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this reading. Okay. So, again, I'm going to ask questions right to your higher self and your spirit guides and my spirit guides. And the first question I'm going to ask is, have you, and this love that I'm feeling, have you already crossed paths? Have you already crossed paths in this lifetime? Let's see. And I am getting a message that there could be some of you, or there is some of you. I feel like, I feel like there's someone who was a friend, not a lover, but a friend. Um, but I feel like this person had their eyes on you. They had their eyes on you. Why they did not pursue you, I'm not sure yet. I get this feeling that you may have been with someone and their silence, them not speaking up back then, boy, they're feeling that like that is regret. So for some of you I already know, um, okay, that's why I'm not getting any cards. There we go. The Magician. And interesting, we're in the year of the Magician, the Alchemist, the Manifester. Number one. Well, I can tell you this. What I'm feeling is there's someone who I feel like they have a lot of talents. Um, and they could be spiritually inclined, like a spiritual business. But I do feel, I feel like the magician is really, well, it's speaking to you. It's letting you know, like you have the ability, and you already have the tools to truly manifest the type of life that you want. Sometimes we do have to let go of control of like exactly how something shows up or someone. But when we put it in divine's hands, it's only going to be better than what we could even imagine. All right. The Palace of Cups. Interesting. That feels like the person who wished they would have spoken up. And the thing I'm feeling is And I'm going to say but I'm just you. And that's how I like to read. I just want to be you right now. Um, I feel like this person is, or people, um, how do I want to say this? Like, I totally feel like they have a good life. I don't feel like, in their love life, no. But other than that, I feel like they were a go-getter. They are a go-getter. Um, I feel like they have manifested a lot in their life. But boy, if I only would have asked them out, I wonder what would have been. I wonder. And I have a feeling this person thinks about it so much. Interesting. This may be a call that comes in like an unexpected way. Because remember, this is about what's coming and what your higher self is trying to prepare you for. All right. Justice. Slide those over. The Four of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Six of Pentacles. And look at this, the Ten of Cups, the House of Love, the House of Harmony, joy, laughter. But that's real love. And look at that, the Palace of Cups. And then the Ten of Cups manifest. And how do I know it manifests? Because it's mirroring the Magician. So this is, you know, first of all, I feel like someone is trying to find the guts to reach out. And I also want to say, with justice right in the middle of this right now, that's about cutting ties. Some of you may have been connected with someone else and then became single. What I always see in this type of situation is like social media. It doesn't have to be this way, but it's just what comes to my mind. Like how, let's say, Facebook or Instagram, one of those, where we do kind of tell our life story. And I feel like some of you may have changed your status from in a relationship or complicated to single, and they picked up on it. So this definitely feels like an old friend back in the day who their biggest regret is not asking you out. They never forgot about you. I don't feel like you were well, I'm not going to say you weren't attracted to them because chances are you were. But I do feel like you were connected to another, like you were in a committed relationship at the time. But it's interesting because I feel, I don't know, like I already like this person. Like spirit is allowing me to feel what they feel. And I feel this person is definitely spiritually inclined. Could potentially own their own business, maybe their own home. And I don't feel like this is someone who parties. I don't know why I'm saying that. I feel like, well, the reason being is I'm more of a homebody. Like, I like being, this person wants to cuddle with you. Like, that's what they imagine. That is their fantasy. And it feels like it's not even sexual. It's just like, I just want to hold them. I just want to cuddle with them. So they have to get bold. They have to take that chance. Because I feel like if they take that chance, I feel like you're going to respond. And not only respond, but the way our guides are making me feel right now, not only do you respond, but I feel like this is it. This is my person. And there must have been like an inkling back in the day. So here, yes, you have crossed paths before. But I also want to go, okay, we'll take those. All right, the Six of Wands, victory and success. The Queen of Wands can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. To me, this is the Queen of Action. This is someone who, I feel like this queen is successful. I feel like this person is successful in their own right. I feel like this queen went through maybe a divorce, but definitely cut ties. And this is what is activating this other person. Somehow, some way they know. But I also want to say what I'm doing now, what I'm asking now is any more information regarding those who maybe haven't met yet in this lifetime. Tower. Well, interesting I just said that because that feels like a past life. The Hangman. The beautiful sun. The Illuminator. Fresh new start. Some of you have you just begun something new. But honestly, I feel like your life feels new. Some of you may have cut ties with someone it feels kind of like a lot of restriction, a lot of restriction. And I feel for a few of you, like I feel like when I talked about this person, you knew immediately who it was. Now, for others, I want to say I do feel a past life connection here. And I get this sense that this queen, not that she hasn't loved before, been in relationships, she has. Um, but I don't feel like she's in one right now. Or if she is, she's not in love. Let's just put it that way. Because I feel like she is seeking wisdom. I'm saying she, it can be he. Um, but this is what I'm feeling about what is probably you. I feel like I've been through love. I've been through the towers. I may have been married and now divorced, or at least on my way. If not married, in a committed relationship, but those ties have been cut. I feel like this queen has concentrated more on her own life, which is a great thing. But I still feel like she is searching. She is wondering. She's looking for fulfillment that she hasn't found yet. And again, she's been in love, but she always felt like something was missing. And I have a feeling what you're doing is you're remembering. You're remembering without maybe knowing why. You're remembering a soulmate from a past life. And I also want to say that your guides and your higher self, the reason I'm doing this reading is because that is what I kept hearing. Like higher selves wanting to reach you. The sun is going to illuminate. I love the sun's under the Ten of Cups, but I also love that it's illuminating your victory and success. So I feel like this queen, she's happy, but she's not fulfilled as it relates to love. I don't even know that she's looking because I feel like I'm doing my thing. But yet, There is this longing in the soul. So I have a feeling this may manifest. What I love right now is everyone I'm reading. I feel like everyone is doing pretty well as it relates to like finances. But I feel like everyone has this longing. This person in the beginning, they know what they're longing for. But I feel like this queen is not sure. I just feel it. But I'm not desperate. Not at all. I'm not desperate. And I do feel like this queen, it's like she's speaking to me saying, I'm not going to give my heart to just anyone because I don't need to. My life is good because I built it. So any love that comes into my life, it has to enhance my life. Well, I think that's exactly what will happen. There is a longing that wants to be fulfilled, though I do have a feeling this person may not say that. Okay, I'm going to slide these up. I was hoping they'd all go together, but I'm going to slide these up and we're going to keep going. Ah, okay. The Virgo in me wants everything neat. All right, so it's interesting because, um, well, I want to move to the second question. So, what is keeping this connection from happening? Is it timing, healing? What may it be? Let's find out. Is there any blocks, challenges that come before this connection potentially comes together? I should have told you to really calm your mind in this reading and let your intuition lead the way. Because some of this, especially with this queen, again, I feel a longing, but I really can't put a name behind it. Well, actually, I feel the longing is for true love because she doesn't want to waste her time on anything else but that. And I totally get that. All right. So, any blocks, anything we need to know that may be coming between this becoming reality or this staying in our thoughts? Well, that makes sense. Nine of Swords. So, this is a lot of worry. Some decks call this suffering in silence, but the meaning of the card is unnecessary worry. You know what I feel like your higher self is saying? Let go of control. There's certain things that you just can't control. Love is one of them. And I don't mean like when you're in love. I mean, sometimes the timing. This is a lot of worry around it. But again, it doesn't have to be that way. And it is a nine, so it does want you to reflect upon it. And I have a feeling what this worry is your thoughts. I don't want to repeat of the past. Well, because I feel many of you have grown leaps and bounds within your spirituality, within your own energy, I don't feel like you need to worry. The Three of Pentacles. Hmm. Well, someone loved me for who I am because other people I loved wanted me to change this and change that. And that's not what I want. Some of you may be doing work where other people may frown upon it, like tarot or something like that, where some people just don't understand, but you do. That's the thing, you do. It feels like there were people in your lives who, well, they were naysayers. They were naysayers. But here's the thing, this tells you that you need to be yourself. Don't wear any masks. Don't wear any facades. Be who you are. This is about being celebrated for exactly who you are. It's recognition and reward. And I also love this energy as it relates to your creativity. Doing something that truly makes you happy, even if it's hard work. And it makes sense coming under this queen. Um, because that's exactly what she would do. If she feels passionate about something, even if I don't know everything I need to know yet, well, I shouldn't have said it that way because I don't feel like you need to know all you may think you need to know. It's just moving into it. And often I feel like there's a lot of talents, there's a lot of skills that you already possess. So, anyway, I don't feel like this queen really needs a speech from me because I feel like she's got that together. I feel like the worry is related to love. So, is that a block? Well, it is somewhat because I want you to think about, like, first of all, the way love happens is unexpected. Like I can't think of any love that I planned. It just happens, even if I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you may not feel ready, but yet your higher self is saying, "Oh, you're ready, my dear." Don't worry about the things you cannot control. And, I feel like for some, the worry could also be like, when is it my turn? When is it my time? Well, let's think of this queen and how she has found success on her own. I always feel that is so important. Like, not putting your creativity on a back burner for someone else, even if you fall in love, which I have a feeling you will. It's not saying like you stop doing the things that you're doing, you stop being who you are. Quite the opposite. I feel like this is someone who would come in and be like, wow, like you are good at what you do. They would build you up, and you may not have always had that. Well, I already know you haven't. Hello, soulmates. You know, it is like when you do you, love takes care of itself. How interesting that the soulmates is under the tower. Well, there's our past life. And sitting next to the Three of Pentacles, I love that. Because truly, this says that well, not only they love you for exactly who you are, but it goes both ways. All right. The Nine of Cups. Well, that is a different energy from the Nine of Swords. It's a different perspective. And then the moon. So the moon is, first of all, the sun is card of Leo, ruler of Leo. I don't know if I said that. The moon is the card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. But here's the thing. This is my masculine and my feminine. Hmm. This feels meant to be. The difference in perspective, though, the Nine of Swords versus the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is inner fulfillment. I feel like for some of you, saying to yourselves, like, I don't need love to fulfill me or to complete me because I'm already complete. But I do invite it in to be part of my life, not to take over my life, to be part of it. Different perspective. I feel like a different perspective, especially from the Nine of Swords. First of all, if you let go of this unnecessary worry, because that's like weight, and you put it in divine's hands, and just keep being you, doing you. And by the way, I would not be surprised if many of you, you may not, like some may not know exactly, like, where is my life heading? Or like, what should I do in the world? Well, again, I feel like there's something that the day will come where you will be what I would call very successful. But you do have to believe in yourself. So I feel like what this is saying is let go of the worry, continue doing your thing, be proud of that, even if you just begun. And I feel like the soulmates, and for many of you, past lives, like here comes that answer to that longing. And the moon, dreamy, but also masculine and feminine soulmates. Nine of Cups is inner harmony, but then it's fulfillment of wishes. And if you notice how I just said that, inner harmony, and then fulfillment of wishes. Why? You don't have to have inner harmony to fall in love. But if we want our best shot at it, so to speak, that's probably the wrong word. Um, I know our guides. I know they say all the time, you have to think about you. You have to put yourself first. This inner harmony, it's like the inner harmony, I feel like, comes from really putting your trust in not only your higher self, but in divine. Like these soulmates are meant to be. I just feel it. I feel it with every bone in my body. And I'm noticing the 3 and the 2, which is a 5, change. Wow. I hope that change is over that 9 of Swords. Meant to be dreamy. Could be a little scary. But listen, that is just human nature. Now the 9 of Swords could literally stop someone from moving forward, like given my heart before. But what I would ask you is when you were in love before, where was your own vibration? You know what I mean? Because what I am hearing is that many of you have truly grown by leaps and bounds, and that changes your energy force. And therefore, this high vibrational love, well, that feels like the right time. I forgot what the question even was, but I often do. Okay. Um, so what is this person's current energy? Like, what are they going through right now? What, maybe they've just overcome something. Some of them have recently become single. By the way, some of you have just recently become single. And I get this every once in a while, but I just heard, don't forget to check the comment section because those who make comments, you are aligned. You're aligned to each other. And it feels like a dating app. But, the thing is, I don't get a lot of men who leave comments. So if you're a man, leave a comment today. Because I just feel like someone is going to connect. Don't be afraid to reach out. Okay. Three of Cups, Six of Swords. Nice. I mean, in a way, nice. This talks about they were dealing with some type of toxic energy, but they left it. They left it. Oh my gosh. And then your guardian angel steps in. Their guardian angel, both of your guardian angels. Listen, this type of love, I'm telling you, spirit guides are working together. They're going to enlighten you and then enlighten them. I definitely feel that many of the energies we're speaking of, they feel aligned. So, anyways, hello, Knight of Pentacles, one of my favorite energies. So, the Knight of Pentacles does speak of patience because this knight tells you, I come at the right time, the perfect time. Doesn't mean, again, fear may not, fear may raise its ugly head, but just for a moment. And that's normal. That's kind of like the butterflies, like oh my God, holy shit, falling in love. But this night, when it tells you it comes at the right time, it's a beautiful thing to trust in because this night, it offers the gift of the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles means something coming into your physical world. And I feel like the blessings continue. It's not a one-time thing. But the timing feels like it is now right. Because whatever toxicity was, this person is no longer carrying. And that is good for you and them. Bye-bye yesterday. Hello tomorrow. Or maybe today. And then the Three of Cups. Joy. They found their joy again. Okay. And I also want to say, I feel like this person may have dealt with someone who potentially drank a lot. And then, okay, drank a lot and then got dramatic. And what I'm hearing is I tried to get them to stop, but I couldn't. And I can't allow it to be my issue anymore. Because when this person drinks, they get wild. And I mean like angry. You know those people. Like they're as kind as can be, and then they take a drink and they turn into assholes. That was my ex-husband. But that Six of Swords is everything. They've had the realization their guardian angel is stepping forward, which only means that yours is about to follow. Okay, let's just accept that and keep going. I mean, what's not to accept? All right, so how close are you to meeting? Soon? Months? Um, and any unexpected events, like any clues? Okay, I just heard change my deck. Not sure why. Hmm, she's a psychic churro. Interesting. Right in the middle of a reading, change your deck. Give him a cut. What am I on? One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Um, there's that three of pentacles again. Literally, it says recognition and reward. Look how humble this person is. Grateful. Maybe I'm grateful that I am free. But yeah, when I say free, it doesn't mean like I don't want love. I just don't want that old love. Really, what I should have said is I feel like I've outgrown really all the old love. Four Swords. Here it's called rest and rejuvenation. This is healing. The Emperor. Masculine. Father figure. This person may be a single father. This person may be a boss. Not the boss of you, though. Understand that. This person feels like a protector. I feel like this person will fiercely protect you. Let someone talk about you. And what I just saw in my mind, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen this way, but what I just saw in my mind is somebody ushers your name in the wrong way. Boom. Like, boom. They knock someone out. Oh my God. Look at that 44. Moving on. Now we have two. That's probably why they wanted me to change my deck. Two master numbers connected, 33 and 44. Huh. So, heartache and loss, the Three of Swords. Now, we have two threes mirroring each other. So, what is a master number 33? It is about pure love. It's mastering love, but in all forms. I love how we have moving on from what? Previous heartache. And we have healing in the same line. So these previous heartaches, these previous daggers in the heart, this is not that. And this healing may be also part of that Nine of Swords. Just look at this person. They're out in nature. They're sitting by trees, which I feel like are wisdom. Their hands are in the position being open to receiving. And, sometimes we want something now, but yet, let's say that you are dealing with this heartache and it did turn into a lot of worry, but that doesn't seem or feel like the exact right time. I feel like Spirit always says we have to think about us. We have to think about our healing, because our healing could certainly be what turns around. And, this is what I feel like the soul's purpose is, to help another. And the Emperor, even though I do feel like this is your person, I also feel like for some, it represents a business that you're building. And it may be because of the very things that you yourself had to heal. Okay. What signs or synchronicities will appear before this, I was going to say before this reading, um, before this love? Some of you are going to feel it. Some of you are already feeling it. I know. And some may say, Sandy, you do a lot of love readings, but I want you to understand, like, it's a process. You know what I mean? Like, when you watch a love reading, and if it has no lessons in it, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's not real, because who am I to judge? But at this table, like, we want to learn these lessons. We want to evolve. And when we evolve, so does our life. Okay. So, signs or synchronicities. Positive movement forward. And 8, a new beginning. And this person's in a boat by themselves, but they're heading towards the sun. Tells me that they're probably left like a rainy location and they're heading towards the sun now. This is a new beginning. This is a sunny disposition. Patience. So, first of all, this is a card of Sagittarius. Now we have two energies that speak of patience. But when you see temperance, temperance is asking you to trust in divine timing. But it's always worth it. And divine timing, like, I never do my readings where, I'll do a yearly reading at the beginning of the year. Other than that, I don't want to know, what's going to happen in 2027. I want to know what's going to happen soon. And that may be why we opened up with the magician. We're in the year of the magician. So, divine timing. I feel like temperance is saying this healing process, especially because we have the Three of Swords here, is just as important as every other element. It's just as important. And you may be what I call healing soulmates, where you help heal those last little broken pieces. And I do feel like healing soulmates, chances are together for the rest of their lives once they come together. This means that both have gone through a lot. This means that both had things that they had to overcome, things that they had to realize, and had to come back to themselves. But that is what temperance is all about. And often, you can't see it in this image, you'll see temperance mixing the loving waters of the soulmates. We have the soulmates. Dang it. Eight of Swords, trapped in fear. Well, temperance would be like, well, that's not the right timing. This can be a block. This is what they call a self-created prison. This is where I put in walls up. Maybe I don't even trust myself anymore as it relates to love or anything. No, I shouldn't say that because I do feel like those that I'm reading for today, I feel like you do have your shit together. It just may be love, right? It's like the missing element. It's the missing piece of your puzzle. You got to bring these walls down. This is why temperance is here. So divine timing is more in your hands than probably ever before. And I am noticing how, by the way, 88, 44, 33. But I'm also noticing how the Eight of Swords is mirroring justice. Got to cut those ties. Cut the ties to what was, what didn't work out. Don't blame yourself. Maybe it was your fault. But the thing is, you want to just look at that, analyze that. And I'm not saying it's your fault. But in a way, I just kind of said that, but I didn't mean it that way. I feel like why I said that is you may be telling yourself that. And it may have been the case. You know what I mean? Like, I may have given my heart to people who trampled on it. Temperance would tell you, again, much like the Knight of Pentacles, when you evolve, so does your life. And that's a fact. The Eight of Swords means I'm not paying attention to my intuition. Probably one of the reasons why I'm doing the reading today. Put the walls down. Know that your intuition will lead you, as will divine, always and forever. And if nothing else, I hope that's what you take away from this reading. You are protected. And man, do I feel like this love, by the way, it could be male or female. I feel like once you come together, I promise you, someone ushers something bad about you to them. Well, good luck to that other person. And not that they're violent. Like, don't think that. That's just the rule. Like, I am your protector. In the Eight of Swords also, because we're asking like what signs or synchronicities will appear. It's going to be a lot harder to, let's just say, receive the signs, or if you do receive them, to trust them. And you do have to have some trust. And by the way, any new love, even if it's old love, and maybe coming back around again, think about the foundation of it. Because often, like, I think about certain loves that I've been with where the foundation never had a chance to build. So it wasn't going to last. Obstacles and challenges. Number 5, change. Let's see what mirror. It's interesting because we have positive energy over here. Over here, we're trusting in divine. Here, not so much. And that may be creating more problems in your life than you realize. The not trusting your intuition. You may trust it and then second guess it. But this is not saying that this is future obstacles. It's a 5. Change. When? Now. Or it's already happened. Oh my gosh. Oh, got 2. All right, we have the Hermit, called Solitude in this deck. Card of Virgo. And, the Hermit, in that energy, is really where we learn about our spirituality. And sometimes we are brought down to our knees. But being brought down to our knees oftentimes makes us start seeking the light, seeking the answers. And that's what your guides say all the time. All you have to do is seek, and ye shall find it. This is also a representation of 2025. So, what has ended? The reflection. This may ask you, like, maybe even to reflect on the last 9 years. Because 2026 at this table is open. And then the 7 of Pentacles. Wow. Patience and planning. But honestly, that is about like your tree of life. Seeds that have been planted. But sometimes, many times, like think of it like this. Like, this is your garden. Your life is your garden. And if you don't plant any seeds in your garden, you're never going to have the harvest. And I often think that in the Hermit too, like, my harvest is right around the corner. So the planting of those seeds, but then those seeds need time, right? To develop, to grow, to become this healthy blossom. Hmm. I just got a message that for a few of you, there's going to be something that you're seeking, like an answer to something. And I do see you going into, it feels like a courthouse, but I don't, maybe it's a library. It's a beautiful building. Like, I feel like it's a building that's been standing for quite a long time, maybe over 100 years. And I feel like you're seeking something, you're seeking some type of answer. And I feel like in that place, you're going to meet someone. And I don't know why I got the courthouse and then the library. And by the way, when I say like the courthouse or the library, let's put it in a more general way. Like a place where you may go to seek answers. I feel like this person or people are much more of like a homebody type person than a let's go out and party. Not that, not that you won't go out. You're like, I see you going out to dinner. Boy, I see romance, but I see it in the most respectful of ways. Like, honestly, I just don't know. Sometimes you don't know how good it can be until you start to move into it. And this love that we're talking about today, this isn't just random. Like, literally, I went straight to our guides and your higher selves. Okay, I'm going to slide that up. And what does Spirit want you to know about this connection? What does Spirit want you to know about this connection? Wow. Material and spiritual prosperity. You notice how that says not just spirit or material prosperity, but spiritual prosperity, victory and success. 66. And then this is the strength card. It's called power here. This is courage. It's coming under another eight. You got a lot of eights in this reading, so a lot are having new beginnings. And by the way, I feel like for many, like what you do for a living, I don't feel like that is changing, but I do feel like it's amplified, especially the more open you are. So, what does Spirit want you to know about this person? Well, not just this person, but about this connection. First of all, the synchronicities. Um, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a lot of like, but that's not the word. Okay, I definitely feel both have had tremendous spiritual growth. I feel like the majority have really taken a look within themselves. Especially the strength card coming under another eight, but that eight is trapped in fear. And I feel like the strength card is saying this is looking within oneself, understanding, just think back in your own life, the things that you've already overcome. I feel like this is the energy of courage. And once you gain that courage, you can never lose it. So, life has taught you well, and them. And it didn't come easy. That I know. But most good things don't. And I get this sense that it was important, or it is important. And this feels like it's from your higher self, that you yourself feel good, that you yourself put your belief back in divine, back into yourself. And I feel like I see it right now, like spirit is, and some of you may feel this, like patting you on the back. You know, it's almost like if I was being graded on how I've done in life so far, I feel like you got an A. And that to me means life has not been easy, but you still have evolved. And for some of you, it may have gotten so difficult that you really had no choice but to look within. And sometimes looking within, it doesn't mean that, again, there's a problem with you. It just means, what have I been accepting? What is my part in this? How can I evolve? Do I allow myself to have these new beginnings, or do I stay stuck in chapters that are ready to close? Your spiritual prosperity, I feel like it's already on the table. It's already happening. And this material prosperity, that I feel like is happening. Now, some of you may say, well, I don't really have a lot of material prosperity yet. Well, hang on to your hat. Keep doing what you're doing, especially if you feel called to it. Oh, and hello, Empress. Beautiful. My power couple. The Emperor and the Empress. The masculine and the feminine. The feminine, where's the Emperor under there? The masculine. Oh, Seven of Swords. 77. Look at the synchronicities within the numbers. And it's coming under the energy of patience. This is deception and envy. This probably tells you, or it's telling me, like, part of the energy you've dealt with. Now, do I feel like you still are? Well, not if you're in the Empress's energy. And by the way, the Empress, I'm not going to say she never had walls up, because the Empress is all about learning. I feel like the Empress has gone through all the lessons of the Queens. This is telling you, keep your heart open. Trust your intuition. And I feel like your heart chakra is being activated. The Seven of Swords, this really is untrustworthy energy. Here it's called deception and envy. And that may be the case. Like, man, I wish I was more like you, but I'm not. And I don't feel like you're here to fix them. I feel like if you feel like you are now in the Empress's energy, which means your heart is open, and chances are you're very creative. And many of you may be creating businesses or rising to the top of your game. Like the growth. We see it over and over, the growth. And then, hello, Ace of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, the promise that it makes, just fulfilled it. And how interesting, this is our last card. I am going to take the romance angels out, but this is the last card in this spread. And this speaks about something that, or someone, that's coming into your physical world. It's not a pipe dream. And if you look, you can see two different hands nurturing this seed. And here's that blossom. It's like my Georgia peach. I feel like putting that right in the middle. By the way, we open with a 1, we end with a 1. Knight of Pentacles just fulfilled his promise, which tells me his or hers, because some of you, your guardian angels, really, they're in spirit body. But anyways, what was I going to say? I don't know. But it makes complete sense that this Ace of Pentacles would come out now that we have the Empress and the Emperor. And I do feel like the Empress would also protect the Emperor. They're going to protect their love. And not that they even need to, because this is a type of energy, especially if you really feel you're in the Empress's energy, which means you're allowing your heart to be open. And the Empress trusts her intuition above all. Her intuition, your intuition, it is your GPS in this lifetime. It will guide you. And sometimes it is telling you that chapters have come to an end and new chapters are waiting. Like with temperance, I often feel where it asks you to trust in divine timing, but I feel like divine timing often is waiting on us. All right, I just want to look at the bottom. Oh, hello, lovers. Hello, lovers. Look at them looking eye to eye, soul to soul. Harmony. 10 of Cups. Harmony. Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is someone who has taken the mask off. You can see that she had a mask on, but her eyes are open. I feel like this is someone who is very true to them now, themselves. This is someone who knows their own truth and lives in it. And then the Lovers. All right, let's just bring out the romance angels and we will let it be. I do want to thank our guides for being, I feel, very clear. I say very clear, but sometimes you do have to watch your reading twice. And here's why. I feel like, this is why I wish I would have said this in the beginning, like really try to let your intuition lead you today. But what I was going to say is, I feel like, and I say this in my personal readings all the time, every time, when you first watch a reading, many times we're listening with our human ears, our human eyes. But then we come back and we revisit it, but with our spiritual ears, our spiritual eyes. We see it in a different way. We pick up messages that we missed, that we skimmed over. I don't know if I cut these, so let's cut them just in case. I feel like you want to come out. Playfulness. Well, that's kind of the sun's energy. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful, by the way, youthful. Hello, the opening message. But to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit fun to shine. Shine, baby, shine. I feel like what this is saying is enjoy it. Don't put, like we connect with someone, don't put a lot of worry about where it's going to end up because you literally hold the pen and the paper. You really decide how this chapter is going to go. And I love that what feels like a period of, uh, I don't know how to say, just, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hello. Wow. So funny. I just said, don't worry about the outcome. And then we get wedding. The situation involves marriage. And how could it not? And I don't necessarily mean wedding, but when I get this card, I feel the rest of my life. I already felt that in here. So it is giving us a clue that, not even a clue, it's telling you that it has the potential, right? This is love that only grows over time. And I love that it's playful, light, probably different than a lot of what you've experienced. Like what? You have no issues? By the way, they're not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But I feel like this person carries this light-hearted energy, which then allows you to not only enjoy it, but it feels like it you then have this light-hearted energy. All right. I want to see if anything else wants to come out, even though I feel like, okay, that's way too much. Um, Even though I do feel like it kind of gave us the beginning and the end, the potential. I hate to say end because I feel like this is a type of love that goes on and on and on. Again, many of you past lives. Oh, very soon. Exactly what I want to hear. Not for me, for you. Clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. Put those intentions out there. And I don't mean put a certain person's name out there unless that's the person. What I mean is, like saying to divine, like I've worked hard on myself. I've worked hard to evolve. And if I'm going to give my heart again, then I want this person to also care about the things I care about. I want this person to be someone who understands love. I don't want to teach someone how to love. I don't want to fix them. That's the kind of thing I feel is better to put out. And it brings me back to the Seven of Pentacles, the seeds that we plant. Very soon. When? Very soon. Knight of Pentacles tells you it's coming into your physical life. And why? Because they are the emperor and you are the empress. That reminds me of a Beatles song. I forget the words as soon as I try to think. Anyway, what am I messing with? I don't want to mess with this. I feel like it evolved perfectly. Well, I left it in divine's hands. So I'm going to let this be. Thank you. I love you. My prayer is that this very soon energy be all that you dreamt of. And by the way, it's funny, as soon as I say all that you dreamt of, for some of you, you just don't know how good it can be. Now, that doesn't mean like we never fight, like Sam and I fight, but then we make up. We don't allow our fights to be the end. But we had to evolve. Anyway, I don't want to, I want to keep the sun shining on this reading. And so it is. And so it is. I love you guys. I thank you. I hope this brings real value and understanding to your heart and to your soul. And I hope this worry energy, I hope it helps to, well, truthfully eliminate it. Not that there won't be a little fear. That is normal. But the rest, it's kind of saying just go with the flow. Go with the flow. And keep in mind that you do hold the pen and paper. This has the most beautiful potential. And I'm still talking. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. I don't know what I was just going to say. I'll see you next time. I love you. And so it is. So it is. Bye bye.